a.m. this morning, the Ontario County Sheriff's Office, along with the Naples Fire Department, responded to 7379 County Road 36 in the town of Naples for a reported house fire. This fire was reported to the Sheriff's 911 division by a passing motorist. When firefighters and police officers arrived, the home was totally engulfed in flames. Again, this is an ongoing investigation by the Ontario County Sheriff's Office, and at this point, we have determined that this residence is owned by Marion Fleischman, who is 94 years old. Ms. Fleischman rents a room in her home to Michael Schenk, 64 years of age. At this moment, investigators at the scene have located the body of Mr. Schenk, deceased, inside the residence. The body located inside the residence is in the process of being transported to the Monroe County Medical Examiner's Office so that an exact and precise medical determination on the cause of death can be made. The residence consists of a full first floor and a partial second floor. Now, the extensive fire has caused this upper section of the home to collapse into the basement area. The investigators at the scene are being aided by heavy equipment at this time as they are attempting to remove rubble to not only determine whether or not there is another occupant of the residence, and also to continue the investigation of cause and origin of this fire this morning. Again, at this time, Ms. Fleischman has not been located. We will continue to work with the Naples Fire Department and others who are at the scene. Again, as at this moment, there are still pockets of flames that firefighters are extinguishing. We have a pumper that's at the scene that is helping to remove the large quantity of water which has gone into the basement area. So again, so that this residence can be fully investigated by the police and fire investigators there, and so that also that we can, again, try to determine cause and origin of the fire. Our sheriff's investigators, along with investigators from the New York State Homeland Security and Emergency Services, are continuing their investigation at this time. And again, I can't emphasize enough, this is an ongoing investigation. The destruction caused by this fire is devastating. The effort to slowly remove rubble to, again, determine whether or not we do have a second victim and determine cause and origin could be a very time-consuming and painstakingly detailed effort. So we understand that there are people interested in this investigation and the information, and are very concerned about the residents of this residence. Please be assured that information is being gathered as expeditiously and factually as possible as we continue to have an ongoing fire scene as well as a scene where debris is being removed so that investigators can locate a second victim, if in fact there is one, and also determine the cause and origin of this blaze. And that's all I have at this time.
Just to confirm, because I know you said that you haven't located the other victim, have you been in touch with any family or friends? Do you believe that she was home at the time, or maybe is she away? Or? We
have talked to family. We have no reason to believe that she was not at home, but we are still attempting to confirm whether or not she was in the residence at this time.
Can you tell where the fire started or what caused it?
That's still preliminary at this point. It's going to be, again, this could be because of the destruction of the scene. This could be a painstaking and long-term investigation. But it is our goal in this particular case where we can confirm the loss of one life that we will make every effort with our partners in the fire investigation field to determine a cause and origin of this blaze.
Can you tell us where the body was found of the gentleman? Was he downstairs, upstairs in his room? I mean, what was it challenging to get to him and where he was at?
The investigators that were able to get into a specific area, believe found the deceased in the first floor area.
Were there a lot of, because, how soon did it take for, fire trucks to get there? And, was there anything in the home, maybe a lot of newspapers or debris or anything that could have caused this fire to go up so quickly by the time, help arrived?
Again, it's very premature to determine or to even speculate about cause and origin. The devastation of the fire is so immense that that type of minutia, newspapers, cigarettes, etc., that's going to take a long time for fire investigators, to literally hand paw through a lot of that debris to see if there's some relevant information there regarding the cause and origin of this fire.
No, I meant, in terms of it going up so fast and the fire being so large, is there any reason to believe there was maybe stuff in the home that fueled the fire to spread that quickly?
Again, it's still too early to make that type of determination.
Naples, there are pockets that are super rural. Any challenges on getting crews out there? I know that this motorist that passed by kind of was the saving grace in a way to get them there, but any challenges as far as water supply or getting them there quickly or anything like that?
Again, I'm not aware of any. When they responded, again, they were faced with a situation with a building that was totally engulfed in flames. Based on the law enforcement and those of us that have witnessed and reported back, the firefighters did an extraordinary job in dealing with the severity of the fire that they encountered when they arrived. So I'm not aware of any hampering that the fire services might have. I would certainly leave that concern up to the fire chief or those fire officials from Naples.
And do the two people have family in the area or any information about
We have
that?
been in contact with the family of both the reported residents of the dwelling. They are aware of the situation and they are cooperating with our investigators at the scene regarding any relevant information they can provide.
I know you said the gentleman rents a room there, but any reason to believe that the two folks living there might have known each other or a relationship or anything like that? It's just a person that rents a room?
At this point, the relationship we've determined is we have a landlord-tenant relationship.
The report said that the house was fully engulfed when you guys arrived. So both floors, flames were just, you couldn't see the house, it was just open, the wall of flames?
Yeah, again, the flames were coming from throughout the structure. When people arrived, there was a clear concern, when the fire and law enforcement arrived, there was a clear concern for whether or not there were occupants of the dwelling. But again, the severity made it extremely difficult, to enter the dwelling. It was, several hours after most of the fire had been extinguished when investigators, police and fire were able to enter and make some cursory investigation looking for residents or persons that might be in the home.
That person that passed by, is that someone that lives nearby or just someone that just happened to be driving in the area?
He's a resident of the area. We're not going to be giving out that information yet at this time. Our investigators are still working with that individual to debrief him and identify any relevant information he may have regarding what he observed as he passed by. We're very grateful that he was alert to that, A, and B, certainly took the time to call 911 and activate emergency service.
It doesn't appear to be arson, just an accidental fire?
At this point, there's no indication or evidence of any incendiary attempt at this time. However, I would always preface that by saying that when we investigate a fire, it is a very detailed and a very time-consuming investigation. Evidence that you need to help determine cause and origin often is destroyed in the course of a fire. And the investigators that are in the elements there today, obviously, a rainy situation, that are trying to investigate a fire while it is still being fought, are taking an extreme amount of care in identifying anything that might be evidence relative to the cause and origin of the fire. At this stage of a fire, we never rule out anything. But to answer specifically your question, as we speak, there has been no evidence identified that would tend us to lead toward incendiary origin.